to Arkansas, and to accelerate the growth of the entrepreneurial and technical community. We could not have made the progress that we made without these companies, many of which are represented today. If you all would, give them a quick round of applause for their support. There are a lot of people that stuck their neck out to help us and other groups get started, and we've got some amazing numbers to show today. So you all, I think, have seen this. The Venture Center's programs are broken up into 4 stages: ideate, cultivate, accelerate, and scale. This is the pathway to building an investable business. We're going to get into this in a little bit more detail shortly. So in our first 18 months, we've put 44 ideas or 44 teams through the Pre-Accelerator. We've added over 200 members. All right, we're working with 76 active startups. So let's think about this number for a minute. When we did our 12-month numbers, we had a little over 40 active startups, and we probably knew of 5 to 8 when we got started. So it's amazing to see the entrepreneurs that are anywhere from research to idea on a napkin or has revenue that are working out of garages, cubicles all over Central Arkansas. 68 high-paying jobs created by our companies in the first 18 months. We've trained 37 mentors. We've done over 340 mentor sessions. We've screened 78 ideas. And a lot of folks love this number. Our entrepreneurs are highly caffeinated. And 6 of our member companies have raised $2.26 million in seed capital in the first 18 months. So really excited about these numbers. We've got some great success stories, entrepreneurs that you all are familiar with. I wanted to give a shout out to Power Technology. They did a press conference last week. They had national customers, partners, and media in. They've unveiled, created a new light source for cinemas. And so it's been fun to work with Walter and William as they take their family company of 45 years and leverage startup principles, lean methodology as they build a new product. And you're going to see the next great batch here in a few minutes. All right, so let's look at Ideate, a whole bunch of programs. I know you all feel like you get spammed in your inbox every week, but we got a lot of cool stuff going on. We did our first Pitch and Pint over the summer. Raise your hand if you were at Pitch and Pint. I know several of you were. Yeah. So we had 25 entrepreneurs get up and give a 60-second pitch with nearly 75 folks in the room. The cool thing about a lot of these events is that over a third of the people that attended, none of us knew before. So think about that. Of the folks that are in this entrepreneurial space, and we do this every day, a third of the folks that attended were new. So these programs prove to be a great way to connect more people to our ecosystem. All right, very excited about the next 2 programs. Jolt, a hackathon that we did in October. Lucas did a great job of producing a little video, so I want to show it to y'all now. I think the clicker may need a new battery. There we go. So we had a lot of fun with this. Our technology partner was IBM. They invested a little over $15,000 and sent 7 of their cloud executives from 5 different cities to participate. And we started with 2 lunch and learn workshops before the event. And we had a really good time. The engineers loved the M&Ms with the logo on it. It was a huge hit. So let me talk to you for a second about what Jolt was. A 24-hour coding competition. We had a couple of 14-year-olds all the way up to folks that are retired on their 3rd or 4th company, 70 years old, working in teams. A competition to challenge how you solve problems, how do you earn points. So we broke the competition into 3 categories. Cybersecurity related puzzles, build something puzzles, and tutorial puzzles. So if you've watched Jeopardy, you know that the puzzles are easy at 100 and all the way to 700 points. And so each team was competing to get the most points over the weekend. Well, a half hour into the competition, there was a team of 4 corporate engineers that, I mean, I swear to you, they had their feet up on the table. They were relaxed. They were like, we got this. And 30 minutes into it, the students from the math and science school were pulling ahead. And it was neck and neck for 24 hours. And the corporate team won by 50 points over the high school kids out of tens of thousands of points. So it was a lot of fun. They learned a lot of things related to coding, cloud technologies, deployment that they haven't done before. These are the puzzle masters, so folks from IBM, the Venture Center team, students from the UALR Cybersecurity Club, and a couple of corporate folks. In fact, the students from UALR were so impressive that we're launching a class in the spring where students can get an elective credit for doing a project management with us on these kinds of hackathon events. So UALR was impressed. We're really excited about that class. So the next event was 2 days of startup. So who's done a startup weekend? Several people in the room. So this is kind of our spin on that. Teams work 54 hours putting together their team, meeting people that they haven't met before, taking that idea, working on their pitch, working on their business model. This was phenomenal because about 85 or 90% of the people that participated in this program hadn't done a startup before, hadn't attended an event before. This was brand new to them. So let's take a quick look. So we had a lot of fun, but more importantly, we were able to work with people and explore what it is to build a minimally viable product, what it is to do customer validation, and in a weekend, really kind of see what it's like to put together a company. All right, so these kinds of programs, we like to call them modern workforce development. I joke and say if we called them workforce development, nobody would show up. But they're fun, they're competitive, it's an incredible environment to learn. It's a perfect mixture of building your hard skills and your soft skills together. These programs create a center of gravity in our community that helps to attract, develop, and retain the talent that we have. So let's look at Cultivate. We're here tonight to see the 3rd graduates of the Pre-Accelerator program. This program is rigorous. It is often more advanced than what most accelerator programs are. And this is the Pre-Accelerator. It's a 14-week program. It's Mondays from 6 to 9 p.m. There are 3 big goals. Entrepreneurs work on their business model, their pro forma. They build their minimally viable product. What does it take to get the validation from the customer? And they put together their pitch deck, which we're going to see shortly. At the end, they make one big decision. Is this a company that should go forward or not? Because deciding that it's not is just as good as deciding that it is. And so you're going to see a little bit of both of that here tonight. And I'm really excited to give you just a short little teaser here that we're launching Pre-Accelerator Part 2 in the spring. So this program will take those entrepreneurs that get through the first program, they're at that stage of their business, and help them move forward to be successful at a seed capital raise. So we're really excited about this. All right, mentorship is a big part of what we do at the Venture Center. We have a managed mentor program. To date, we've trained 37 mentors. Those mentors are experts into one of four categories. Serial entrepreneurs are folks that have built, raised money, and sold a company. Capital experts are those that know all about raising money, valuation, and negotiation. Industry expertise are those that know about retail, healthcare, financial services. And functional expertise is accounting, marketing, intellectual property law, etc. Many of you in this room are entrepreneurs, mentors, I'm sorry. If you're one of our mentors, would you raise your hand? Awesome. Thank you all for coming so much. Many of you could be a mentor. And so we'd encourage you to get on the website, learn more about it, and apply for mentor training that'll take place January 19th from 8 to noon. So let's go over just a few highlights from this year. We've done 2 Build It's. These are founder fireside chats. The first one was with Charles Morgan and then the founding team of Mainstream Technologies. We've done 10 Code It technical workshops. These are monthly in-depth technical series. We hosted the National Startup America Partnership Summit. So this was a group that was started in 2010 by AOL founder Steve Case. We hosted the summit where they are planning the relaunch of the national organization. We held a pitch competition for the Delta Regional Authority. We grew the Venture Center team. So many of you know Jessica and Steve. Y'all raise your hand. Jessica is our programs director. Steve is our director of marketing. We added Mario as our mentor coordinator. And recently, Carol in the back. Carol Ainsley Bodge is our new chief operating officer. One of our favorite quotes is, "Fast is as slow as we go." And that's true. I don't think the team has slept much in the last year, being here early in the morning and late at night. And we've got some really exciting things to talk about in the next few days for next year. There is one more thing. This week, we're announcing our first program in the Accelerate stage. This is a specialized accelerator program with a Fortune 500 company that started here in Little Rock. So we're really excited about that. Stay tuned for Thursday's announcement. You'll all be getting an email from us, I'm sure. All right, cool. Now I have a tremendous list of thank yous to go through, so bear with me. All right, I want to thank the Venture Center's board for their help this year. Jay and the Little Rock Chamber have been huge partners in opening doors and helping us work on several of our initiatives. Millie Ward and the team at Stone Ward have been a big help. We've got some fantastic new brochures that are going to be delivered this week. So if you want to read more about our story, stop by later this week. James Hendren and our many mentors. Some of these mentors like James and Lou and Mark Hill, these folks are sometimes spending 4, 6, or 8 hours a week mentoring. So that we could not do this without their mentoring time. Lost 40 provided the beer tonight. Ryan Smith is displaying his artwork up front. Ryan's a gifted artist from Little Rock that just recently found his way back. So I didn't know we'd be retaining and attracting back artistic talent, but there's proof right up front that we are. Plantation Services has donated some beautiful poinsettias. We're too lean this year to purchase Christmas trees and lights, maybe next year. And I do want to thank the Venture Center team. They have done an amazing job this year. Thank y'all. All right, talking about hard work. These entrepreneurs have slaved over their business models, their pitch decks. It's been rigorous. It's been crazy. I don't think anybody shed a tear. Has happened in the past. I don't think this class did, so these folks are tough. One of the individuals that got them through was Lou McAllister. Lou's the Venture Center Entrepreneur in Residence. He launched Broadband Development Group, the gigabit internet that we have here in the space, and spent a lot of time with the teams over the last 14 weeks. And so, Lou, I'm going to turn it over to you, let you introduce the judges today and the teams. Thank you all so much.
Lee caught me texting to one of my investors just now, so I apologize. When you're in this part of the business, you're in it all the time, and that's one of the things that we've been working with our entrepreneurs on for the last 14 weeks. This is a part lifestyle, part passion, part work, and part all-consuming sort of thing, and a lot of you know about that. Our judges tonight, we're very fortunate to have Dr. James Hendren. Many of you know James, and he needs no introduction, actually, for most of us. Gina Moran is with Hudson Sisney, and a great firm in town, and very experienced. And we're very pleased to have Gina with us tonight. And of course, Alan Engstrom from the CEO or CFO network, guys who do a lot of great work around town and are very supportive of the entrepreneurial ecosystem that we have. So we're very, very pleased to have this group of judges with us. Some housekeeping before we start. We're going to have 8 folks or 8 teams stand up and give their 5-minute pitch. Then they're going to get 2 minutes of feedback from the judges. Please hold your applause. Let's let everybody go through this. We're going to try to move very rapidly and kind of keep it popping. So if you will just hold your applause, give everybody a big hand at the end. If you're so inspired by one of the pitches that you just can't help yourself and you jump up and grab your checkbook, I'm sure everybody will understand. But we'll make allowances.
That, by the way, was not a solicitation.
No, because I've done mine. Okay, so our first presenters this afternoon. This started off as a student project at UALR. A team was put together and they started working on a class project. As they started through the accelerator, they kept on working on it. They kept on looking at the problem, and they've ended up with what we think of as a pretty exciting business opportunity and a really important problem to solve in agriculture, which is big to us here in Arkansas. So I will we'll have Bobby Aikman and the team from DSS come up.
Did you know that every year in America, 39% of the crops that are planted don't make it to harvest? This is a huge problem for our economy. Each year, it costs us billions in losses. At DSS, we decrease these losses through the use of UAVs in agriculture. I'm Bobby Aikman, and I'm the CEO of DSS. I'd like to start with a very simple graph showing crop output in the United States over the last 3 years. The green bars represent the crops that were planted, and the yellow bars represent the crops that actually made it to harvest. It's obvious from looking at the graph that these losses are monumental, but just to quantify it, that was over 56 million acres that were lost. Some more specific examples. Last year in Arkansas, 70,000 acres of wheat were lost. Wheat sells for $352 an acre. That's 24.6 million in losses. In the entire United States, 9.5 million acres were lost. That totals to 19.7 billion in losses. So my team came together to try to find a solution for this. And the solution is DSS. Our process can be broken down into 3 steps: survey, detect, and neutralize. We use a normalized difference vegetation index to measure photosynthetic capacity in the plant. Basically, light looks different when it reflects off unhealthy plants as opposed to healthy plants. In case you're wondering what this looks like in a real-world application, here's an example. A good way to look at it is green dense is good, red lacking density is bad. Once we've found the problem area, we can then go back with our patented spraying device to neutralize the issue. Our spraying device is better for several reasons. First reason being it's environmentally friendly. When aerial applicators or crop dusters release their pesticides, the wind catches it. We call it driftage in the industry. It blows the pesticides into waterways or opposing properties, damaging wildlife and causing costly legalities. So while they're releasing 6 to 30 feet up, our drones release 2 to 6 inches up. We also take less pesticide further. We release a mist composed of nanoparticles that completely encompasses the plant, the undersides of the leaves, the stomatas, and the pistils. When aerial applicators release, it's straight down. The plant doesn't get treated entirely. Right now in America, there are 2.2 million farms. It is our goal to capture 1%. At $250 a month and 20 cents an acre, at 22,000 farms, that'll generate $44 million in revenue for us by the end of our first 5 years. Drones in agriculture hasn't been a question of if, it's been a question of when, and when is now. Up until this point, you couldn't commercially use UAVs to collect revenue. Now you can. I know a lot of you are probably thinking farmers aren't going to use drones in agriculture. There's actually a 5.7% annual projected growth rate. Right now in America, just under 1,500 businesses are somehow involved in agriculture and UAVs. So this industry is still in the growth stage, leaving customer acquisition open for DSS. And finally, another really big opportunity for us, the Agricultural Act of 2014 is legislation that was recently passed specifically meant to help farmers gain, obtain, and implement capital for precision agriculture, exactly what we do. This is a huge opportunity for us. Here's a competition matrix showing the major players in their field. Before I break this down, I would like to say there's one distinction about our company that allows us to be cheaper, faster, and better, and that's that we offer this as a full service. So Precision Hawk is our leading competitor in terms of growth and revenue. They sell the farmer the drone, the farmer collects the data, he sends it back to them, they aggregate it and interpret it, then they send it back to the farmer, then he tries to neutralize the issue. We deliver our results on site. So that's how we're faster. Their cheapest package is more than twice the mean salary of farmers in Arkansas. We're $250 a month plus 20 cents an acre. That's how we're cheaper. How are we better? We have a network of crop consultants and farmers on our consultation team, and we work one-on-one with the farmer to find a solution to your issue. Current status, we have tested our patented spraying device and our drones. We have finished our 5-year pro forma cash flow. Working on customer acquisition, we have several letters of intent pending, and our regular requirements are pending as well. Our next steps, and the reasons I'm here today, is to ask for $25,000 so we can conduct a beta test in order to show the viability of our model. Obviously, we're still working on customer acquisition, and we're putting a big focus on product development. Here's our team. We got Mauro Montenegro, our CFO, Corey Castleberry, our CTO, and Victoria Freshour, our COO. At DSS, we decrease crop loss through the use of UAVs. We sell preventative maintenance, but we provide peace of mind. I'm Robert Aikman, and I'm the CEO of DSS. Thank you very much.
Your opportunity is very impressive. It's obviously a problem that solving is both good for the environment and dramatically profitable for the farmer. So it's an economic development issue also. I think as you take your project forward and go out and look for more investments, you might want to cover a little bit more of how you plan on engaging the farmers to get them to buy your service. But very good presentation. Thank you.
I thought overall it was a very good presentation, very good statistical data, including also your competitor data, which was very informative.
I would echo that. Great job walking us through the opportunity to how you're going to solve the problem. My only feedback would be maybe one slide that would show what I call the unit economics, which is you put $1 in, pay you guys $1. How does everybody in the value chain win? That would be a great addition to your pitch.
Thank you
guys. Great job.
Okay, our next entrepreneur is a guy who has used his career experience and his passion to go out and solve a really pretty big problem. And he's in an industry with multi-billion dollar household name companies. But this is one of the beauties of being an entrepreneur. We are confident, we are arrogant, and we know that we can do something that other guys can't do, and we can do it better than they can do it. And we often do. And we come up with some pretty good ideas. So I'm real excited for you to see Joshua Ayers at Cart Delivered.
Thanks, Lou. Hello, my name is Joshua Ayers. I'm the founder and CEO of Cart Delivered. At Cart Delivered, we provide same-day grocery delivery service from the store of your choosing to your front door in under 3 hours. Imagine being able to take care of your entire week's grocery needs from the convenience of your smartphone or your home PC and to do it in less time than it would typically take you just to check out at the grocery store. Think of the possibilities. That means never having to go to the store again in inclement weather or fight traffic, a busy parking lot, not having to take your little kids in tow with you, or if you get sick, you don't have to leave your home. If you're tired from a long day at work, stay at home with your family. Whatever your need is, we're your partner to provide store-to-door delivery. So is anybody interested in this? Yes. We actually ran a pilot test in Little Rock earlier in the year, and the 3 primary groups that we found that gravitated towards this were busy families like mine. My wife and I work. We have 3 kids, soccer, extracurricular activities. Busy families are looking for ways to get more done with less time. The second group are the elderly. My parents, my neighbor Noel, very active, but they're still looking for that trusted partner, somebody that they can rely on if they get into a bind. The third group are the affluent, those with more disposable income who are making trade-offs already in their life for lawn care, car maintenance. This becomes one more thing that they say, I'm willing to pay money to have time back to do what I want to do. This slide always strikes me as a little intimidating. I truly believe we're somewhere at the intersection of a $1 trillion market opportunity where we touch grocery, convenience, and an on-demand logistics service that is already $200 billion and growing double digits every year. So with such big opportunity, surely there's competition, absolutely. And to Lou's point, how does somebody like me have the audacity to say, yeah, Walmart, Amazon, no problem? We do think we have a better mousetrap. Let me tell you how. Down in this area are companies with heavy assets, hundreds of millions tied up in fulfillment centers, fleets of vehicles, paid drivers, insurance, fuel. And in order to do so, they have to go to very dense markets, Chicago, LA, New York, in order to get the market and order density to make their model work. We're moving away from that. We're taking a play out of Instacart, Uber, and Google and saying we're going to be much more of a technology-based platform. And then the second thing we're going to do is we're going to move to underserved markets. We don't need to go and compete head-to-head with the big guys. There are literally hundreds of cities in the US that we've identified that fit our model and that are completely underserved. There's nobody providing this service. So again, the 3 areas we're going to win. A minimal infrastructure. We're going to lean on the sharing economy. Think of Uber. 5 years ago, none of us would have gotten into the back of an unmarked car in the middle of Chicago. Are you crazy? And yet today, millions of people have proved out that, yeah, we are willing to lean on the sharing economy. So we'll have a minimal infrastructure. The second is our target markets. We're going to go where we're not facing head-to-head competition. And again, there's lots of white space. The third is our cost model. Our customers tell us they really like the transparency and the understanding of how we arrive at their cost. So why now? Grocery delivery isn't new with us. It's literally been going on for decades. Groups like Webvan, Peapod have tried. But again, based on that old model, heavy infrastructure, they've never been able to scale it profitably. There are macroeconomic realities today that I've listed here that were not the case even 5 years ago, that are allowing our platform and our go-to-market strategy to be viable today. This is off actual data from 2014. $135 is an average market basket around the US. In our system, Cart Delivered would bring in $5.55 per order. Online delivery for groceries are already accounted for 1.5% of the grocery market. And in that model, Little Rock alone is between $1 million and $3 million a year in annualized revenue. Our first 5 cities that we will be in within 2 years is between 5.5 and 16 million. And keep in mind, that's with a very, very small infrastructure. My co-founder and I, Steve Manette, want you to know 3 things about us. 1, we both have over 15 years of experience in real world, working for blue chip companies where we learn the best processes in the industry. We're not green. The second thing we want you to know is that we're both entrepreneurs. Steve's run his own company for years. I've run mine for years. We're go-getters. We know what it takes to get out there and bust it and get it done. The third is our character and our commitment to integrity and a hard work ethic. But we can't do it alone. We're looking for investment partners. We're raising up to $500,000 in a pre-money valuation of $2 million. And the primary thing that those go to, 3 things. First is development cost. The second is customer acquisition. We know we have to go out and obtain users. And then the third is actually being able to put dedicated resource against it. I'm Joshua Ayers with Cart Delivered. I look forward to speaking with you afterwards today. Thank you for your time.
Overall, great presentation, and I think you have something that is very appealing to the market. I'm sold.
Great.
I really like how you're positioning yourselves. The positioning map was really helpful. So nice job.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, really nice presentation. I think one of the things that I really liked, which is obviously any investor is going to be concerned about, is you really kind of explained about how you're going to avoid the big guys that could really take you out. So I thought you did a good job with that. I think obviously when you have a longer pitch time, folks are going to want to see a little bit more of the details of where that profit number comes from. But great
Absolutely.
presentation.
Thanks, James. Thank you all.
Thanks, Joshua. Okay, our next team started their business already, and they've gotten it up and running, and they're successful, and they're doing well with it. It's a local business, and some people would have been really happy with that, and they would have said, well, I've got a nice little lifestyle business being local here. And they kind of looked up and said, you know what? Everybody's local. Locals everywhere you go. We can make local nationwide. And so without further ado, we've got Rich Niemeyer and Caitlin Schmidt from Local.
Thank you, Rick. Hey guys, my name is Rich Niemeyer. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Local Magazine. So we started Local Magazine in November of 2014. Our goal was to actually fulfill it here in Little Rock and then spread it to franchise. Because every city has an incredible community of creatives and hard workers. Whether they are businesses, artisans, or people with a dream, they all deserve to have their story heard. We want to encourage the community to connect with their locals, to shop local, to eat local, to appreciate where they live. So we have found a few problems in the publication world. Most local businesses cannot afford typical costs for advertising. Second thing is there's really no focus on connecting those businesses with the community. And then also, most publications only rely on 1 to 2 ways to distribute their magazine. So there's 23 million small businesses that are in the US right now. That number has increased 49% in the last 20 years, with 543,000 businesses that are opening up. Local wants to target those businesses to help them build theirs. So there's 3 things that separate us: price, reach, and passion. Local offers cost-effective advertising options ranging from $100 to $750 a month. We actually get our magazine out 7 different ways, and Local wants to connect those local businesses. So according to Bloomberg, 8 out of 10 entrepreneurs fail within the first 18 months of opening up their business. That is 50% of the working population, over 120 million individuals working in small businesses. Those businesses fail, they lose their job. Inc. magazine predicts that in 2016 will be the year of the informed consumer. So this is actually an ad in Local Magazine at this time, running $750. Here's our competitors, running $2,000 to $10,000 a month in advertising. Yes, we do have competitors, but those competitors only appeal to specific readers, or they're too expensive for local businesses to advertise. Local is affordable and also appeals to most. So this is our roadmap. This is what we've done in 2015, and the startup of 2015, we started subscriptions. Third quarter, we actually started our apparel and our swag, selling that in local events and also local boutiques. In the fourth quarter, we actually hit 32 pages. And in the first quarter and second quarter of 2016, we launched our app. Hitting 32 pages, we've actually sold 28 pages, making $42,000 an issue. Our goal was to hit 48 pages with 44 pages sold, hitting $66,000 with $396,000 in revenue. So here's our travel. The blue line and the green line actually represent how much we predict to make. The red line and the purple line are our expenses, which you can see that they're actually slightly just increasing in 2016. We have made over $106,000 in revenue this year in 2015. Our projections in 2016 will be $224,000. So yes, we do have a plan to expand. We want a franchise. And with that franchise, those red dots that you see are pending franchises that we were already working on right now. The yellow dots the yellow stars are actually what we are franchising targets that we're going to hit within the next year. With those franchises, we actually have a startup fee of only $5,000 in startup fees with $1,500 a month in franchise fees. Our minimum goal is to hit 50 cities in 50 states. With those, I'll make $250,000 in revenue on startup fees and close to $1 million in revenue each year. So this is our team. This is what's got us here. Caitlin Smith, which is a co-founder as well. We've got Susie Cowan, which is ad consultant and event coordinator. Mike Russell is our photographer, and Briley Emerson, which is one of our writers. So we are looking for strategic working partners that will join us to continue carrying the mission in local. We want experienced in scaling businesses, experienced in franchising, and also passion for your local community. My name's Rich. Thank you very much. Welcome to Local.
All right, once again, nice job. Don't have a whole lot of feedback other than you guys laid it out really well. It's a franchising opportunity that I think, I guess I would just want to look a little bit more at your cost structure to try to understand how you're able to do what you're saying when all the others seem to be a lot more expensive. So that was the only thing that I would ask a question about.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I echo those same comments. Great presentation, and my comments were also related to the franchise, so I think you laid that out well.
Thank you.
A nice description of what you're doing, and congratulations on how far you've gotten already. And I think the other thing that folks are going to want to ask about is how do you get those that many pages sold, especially as you move out into the other areas, and just kind of knowing a little bit more about your go-to-market plan, again, when you have more time for your presentation.
Yes, sir.
Nice presentation.
Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, this is the part where Lee wants me to remind everybody to hold your applause until everybody's done, right, Lee? A lot of things happen in the Pre-Accelerator class. Some folks come in with nothing but an idea. Some folks come in with a class project. Some folks come in with an operating business. The next team came in with an idea. One of our principles in the Pre-Accelerator is to get to failure fast, and they did. They got to failure pretty fast. The idea they came in with, they decided wouldn't work. And another principle we have in the Pre-Accelerator and the entrepreneurial community is to pivot. And they pivoted themselves into another business, and they have built up something in a very short time that we're really pleased for them to talk to you about. So next we have Becky Parkerson and Lisa Carver with Ramp Up.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Lisa Carver. This is Becky Parkerson, and we're the co-founders of Ramp Up. We make new employees productive fast. Ramp Up solves a common new hire dilemma, which many of you may be able to relate to. This is Chad. And about a year ago, he graduated from a university. He was excited about his first professional level position, but he soon found out that he wasn't really equipped in terms of basic skills to be effective. He didn't know how to communicate effectively with his coworkers, and he really didn't have the political savvy that was necessary to really deal with some of the social issues that were occurring within the organization. As a result, he became frustrated and confused. He really didn't know who to ask questions of, and there was no one around to give him answers. And in short order, he ended up quitting his job, moving back home. He's now trying to figure out what needs to happen next. And as a result, the organization is about $75,000 in terms of replacement fees for Chad. The solution to this common dilemma is Ramp Up. We are a mentoring solution that is both high-tech and high-touch and high-drive. We're high-tech because we leverage leading-edge technology. We're high-touch because we leverage the relationship between an experienced mentor and a new hire. And we're high-drive because we leverage project management skills to hit measurable mentoring milestones. The types of competencies that Ramp Up addresses are typical questions that new hires would have that they need answers to help them be effective in the long run. Questions such as, how do I manage multiple priorities effectively? How do I address conflict with my coworkers? Or how do I present new ideas to my supervisor or up through the chain of command effectively? Ramp Up has a 6-month mentoring cycle. It requires an engaged new hire, an experienced mentor, also the use of our proprietary mentor match algorithm, which matches the experienced mentor with the new hire. The company benefits are numerous for using Ramp Up. The Wharton Business School research tells us that retention increases up to 25%, which it totals an average of $75 cost savings per employee. Engagement and productivity also increase up to 10%, which you can see shows an average of $2,400 revenue increase per employee. Mentoring fuels bottom line results.
At Ramp Up, we're focused on mid-tier companies. We define that as having 1,000 to 5,000 employees. There are over 7,000 of those companies in the US. They employ a total of 26 million people. And best of all, they hire 2 million new hires every year. There are several workplace trends that mean now is the right time for Ramp Up. Companies value mentoring more than they have in the past. It used to be at the bottom of everybody's priority list. Now it's at the top. And they're willing to outsource it. Advances in people analytics and social media mean that we can leverage mentoring technologies in ways that we couldn't do even a couple of years ago. And best of all, the demographics are in our favor. There are an increasing number of veterans, STEM graduates and millennials, and international employees who need to be assimilated and integrated into US business culture. We're better than our competitors in a couple of ways. We are going after mid-sized companies, whereas most of our competitors go after the large organizations like Amazon and Walmart. But more importantly, they've been out in the marketplace a while, so their technologies are really old and slow. At Ramp Up, we're able to leverage these newer technologies to kickstart the mentoring process in real time. We're currently in the discovery phase of our development roadmap. We use an inventory to match mentors to new hires at this point. However, in March of 2016, we're going to automate our mentor match algorithm and test that with several customers in a pilot setting. After that, we intend to start our sales process beginning in Arkansas, then expanding out to several areas in the US. And after that, we'll have our first initial customers beginning in 2017. Lisa and I have together 50 years of experience in a corporate setting and in consulting. We work as consultants for many of the top tier Fortune 500 companies, as you can see from the logos on the screen. So we know how to do mentoring. Our 5-year revenue projections call for us to mentor 500 new employees in year 1 for a total of $600,000 in revenue. By year 5, we expect to mentor 2,000 employees for a total of $9.6 million in revenue. This is using a pricing model of $200 per hour for a 1-hour mentoring session each month over the 6-month mentoring cycle that Lisa referred to. Lisa and I have actually been providing mentoring services to companies at this rate of $200 per hour for the past 5 years. We co-founded Ramp Up so we can scale this business. We're asking for advisors, technical staff, and pilot customers so we can reach the milestones in our development roadmap and also reach the potential that we think is very significant for Ramp Up. Thank you.
Well, I think, as you well know from being in the industry, this is a huge problem. You know, you mentioned the dollar cost, but the the cost for just disruption to the business for replacing that employee and what you expected them to get done that didn't get done because they were having all of those problems. You get that solved and figure out how to take this to market for those middle-sized companies. I think you have a gold mine there.
I agree completely. As an employer and working with different companies of all sizes, this is definitely a need, and I think you're very much onto something here.
Boy, do I understand this problem. You're onto something. I would say selling into this type of problem or this type of solution to this type of corporate sale is complex, potentially time-consuming and expensive. And $200 is going to be expensive. I'm assuming that the mentors are going to be expert level at that rate. So those are the things that I would really challenge you on, is making sure you're really drilling into those assumptions there. Nice job.
Thanks so much.
For a lot of us, necessity is the mother of invention, right? Our next presenter was going to school as a student, and he had his own personal need, his own personal problem to solve, and he set out to solve it successfully. And he's had a little bit different experience in the Pre-Accelerator maybe than some of the other folks. So our next guy up is Jonathan Nelson with JTS Books.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Nelson, creator and founder of JTS Books, which is a platform that seeks to empower students with the knowledge of textbook value. So the problem is that students just don't know what the value of their textbook is. They just go to get their syllabus, go to the bookstore, and just buy pay whatever price is on the shelf. So our solution is to show students what the value of that book is, basically a textbook blue book value. We do this by pulling in the purchase and sell prices and buyback prices of the textbook all on one screen. You wouldn't go and buy a car without looking at a blue book value, buy a house without an appraisal, and it's that same kind of an idea. So this is an example of what that actually looks like. You go to jdsbooks.com and a student puts an ISBN number in, and then they get all the purchase prices from around the web and the buyback prices that companies are willing to pay for that book at that moment. You get a price summary that shows you those prices and what the buyback price is, the highest one. All right, and so this is an example of a book I actually had to have for an accounting class this last semester. At UALR, the used price for this book was $231. From JTS Books, I bought it for $119. The highest buyback price, though, is almost $130 for this book. So what's this mean? For me, the book actually makes me money, and it helps me to minimize my total cost of textbook ownership. So the market size for this is there's about a little over 20 million students enrolled in college in this last year. Over 130 million textbooks needed to serve those students, and currently over 50 million of those books are purchased online. The average online price for a textbook is $75. All right, and with a market this size, there is a lot of competition. Some of the biggest names in competition and textbook price comparison is Campus Books, Direct Textbooks, and Book Scouter, though there's literally hundreds of other sites out there that do online textbook comparison. What makes JTS Books different is simplicity, bringing in the buyback and purchase prices to show on one screen. And the features. JTS Books is the only solution that provides the student or a person with the ability to find books that people are selling for less than what other people are paying for them at that moment. So for example, you go to jtsbooks.com and you would click on a button and it'll search for textbooks until it finds one that somebody is selling for less than what somebody else is paying for it. This is a real world example, a book I bought back in October from half.com. I paid just a little over $40 for it, sold it back to eCampus for $90, and then made $43 on that textbook. So that's sitting in my bank right now. So the business model is pretty simple. It's just a commission-based model. Students come, they buy a textbook from a company that's selling it, we get a commission. They go and they sell it back to a company that's buying it, we get a commission. There's millions of new students that start college every year. The average time students are in college, 4 to 5 years. The management team for JTS Books is myself, Jonathan Nelson. I've got 2 bachelor's degrees from UCA, one in business administration, another in management information systems. And I'll be receiving my master's degree in business information systems at UALR this Saturday. I've been working in software design and development since 2012, and recently became employed with Southwest Power Pool as a programmer analyst. So what's brought me here today is this was something that I did because I needed to find a way to be able to afford my textbooks several years ago. And when I developed my programming skills, I made a platform to make it easier for myself and kind of did this as a hobby. And I decided to come here to find out what it would take to turn this into a business. So what I've learned since I've been here is that you can have a great idea, time to work on that idea, a lot of passion for the idea, and even money to fund the idea. But all of these things aren't enough to make a business. What you need is a plan. So all of these things together with the plan can reach success. My plan is to continue on myself with using some self-funding and working on the other ideas that I have for my mobile development, and putting my time and passion into the project. And then if time goes on and I decide to come back and reassess, I know I can come back to the Venture Center and they'll be able to point me to the people to help me make this larger business. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to the feedback.
Well, I think it's pretty neat that you went through and evaluated it and kind of figured out where you are at this point. Obviously, for a student who's out there trying to figure out how to meet the budget and not end up with too much debt when they get out of school, it's there's a need there. Congratulations on your graduation, and look forward to seeing where you take this in the future. Thank you.
I agree. Congratulations. And it is a lot of hard work to go through that process to come to that conclusion. But we understand that not all businesses make it to the next level, but keep moving forward. I think on future presentations, if you continue to, this process is focus more a little bit on your advertising and how you're going to market it to your group.
Nice job, Jonathan. So what you described to me is there's 2 things that really struck out. Number one, there's tons of competition. That's a red flag, right? So you have to figure out a strategy for how you're going to address that. You said that what makes you unique were basically 2 features. And what I would hate to see is that you go out and you basically just validate that these are great features and then all your competitors can copy you. That's something that I would worry about. I think what your answer is you have a cost structure that nobody else is going to be able to touch. It's basically just Jonathan right now, right? My point is if that should have come out probably more clearly in your presentation, is nobody's going to be able to compete with us because they have a huge cost structure that they're not going to be able to touch you with. In other words, you are going to be a low-cost provider, right? A capital-free. You're going to be like the Southwest Airlines. That's how they entered the market. Is they were just a fundamentally lower-cost carrier, and nobody could compete with them. So that's what I would encourage you to do, is really think that through. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
A shared trait of, I guess, among all entrepreneurs is that we are believers. We don't all believe the same thing, but we all believe something. And that belief that we bring in is followed up with a passion that makes us want to go and give something a shot and give it a try. Our next guy came in to the class with a pretty strong belief that he still has. That has not been changed, but the way he's going to express that idea and that belief and how he's going to bring it out into the world has changed quite a little bit, and that is the subject of a pivot that he did while in the class. So the next guy we have up is Nolan Hughes with Grounded Feet.
Thanks, Lou.
Hey guys, my name's Nolan Hughes. I'm the CEO and founder of Grounded Feet Apparel. Clothing, it's one of life's necessities. You gotta have it, you gotta wear it. Some of these great brands turn a basic need and turn them into a want or desire. So we go out and shop specifically for Nike because we wanna be bold when we work out, or Patagonia, we wanna be more adventurous. When we do things that we love to do, we wanna associate with brands that align with those goals. So because I've been a Christian for 15 years, I wanted to buy Christian apparel or a faith-based brand that kind of I related to. And it's been 15 years and I still haven't bought a faith-based t-shirt. And the reason is this. There's two things. Christian t-shirts or Christian apparels are either too cheesy or they're too preachy. Some of the biggest brands are represented here. Companies like Not of This World Clothing, who was recently bought out by Mardel's, or Active Faith, who is a workout apparel that puts crosses and scripture on their shirts and script shirts. Cheesy, companies like Caruso, who actually take other people's brands and spin off, like Abercrombie and Fitch, and turn it into a breadcrumb and fish. Or Reese's, turn it into Jesus, sweet Savior, King of Kings. I love it. But unfortunately, I would never wear any of these. And so my goal was, okay, how do you make a Christian t-shirt that's not preachy or cheesy? So I was like, okay, let's break it down. First off, it has to be inspiring. So some of these brands maybe inspire you in your faith. It has to be compelling. Other people have to be engaged. They have to look at it and be intrigued and ask about it. What does it mean? And then it has to provide a platform to share your faith. So I came up with Grounded Feet Apparel. It's Christian apparel that doesn't preach. So back to the three elements. It's inspiring. We wanted to inspire the believer on what it means to be grounded, a universal term that identifies with everybody because it's so general. Like, how do you stay grounded in your faith in Jesus Christ? And then two, it's compelling because our logo of the G making a footprint doesn't align with feat, the term that means an accomplishment that takes great courage and skill, such as the feat that Jesus Christ did to die on the cross for our sins, and then our feat to share that truth to the world. Okay, so a little bit about the market. It's a $5 billion Christian product category. So, and it makes up about 4 different categories within that. So clothing, reading material and other content, home decor, and accessories. And so like most other Christian brands, they focus on t-shirts or just devotionals or something. We plan on tapping into all of those with our brand, such as our accessory line, our watches, leather goods, hats, t-shirts, and our trademarked home decor with, if any of you have daughters, you need this pillow for their relationships so they don't get too close. And we plan on having devotionals off that with what it means to leave room for Jesus in your life and how you can stay grounded in your faith and in your relationships. So we're going to build our brand 3 major ways. So our grassroots marketing efforts will be concerts. So conservatively, 2 concerts a month would roughly reach about 240,000 believers. If 10% of those concert attenders bought into a $25 item, sales alone at concerts would be roughly 600,000. Now, the second strategy is online sales. There's roughly 240 million Christians in the US alone. Through social media targeting, our goal is to capture about a 1% market share by year number 2 or 3, with sales being about 60 million online. And then our third way is retail sales with companies like Lifeway, Mardel's, who are hundreds of stores, will allow us to go into international markets outside the US. Our go-to-market strategy is simple. We're going to launch our Kickstarter. So what we've done so far is we have our donor names up. We have our trademark in place. We have product samples from our vendors. We have social media sites up and running. And the biggest thing is agreements with our brand ambassadors. So right now we have people that have committed to push our brand socially. And these people have a reach of over 500,000 followers combined on their network. So we're going to leverage those people to launch our Kickstarter and then go to market immediately after. So our ask is for talent. We're looking for someone who can help come on and build out our e-commerce platform and help with order fulfillment. And then upon successful Kickstarter, we're looking to raise a seed round. So again, my name is Nolan with Grounded Feet Apparel. Thank you for your time.
Great presentation. And I commend you for taking a stand for your Christian values and sharing those through your products. So overall, I think great job.
Thank you.
Same comments, two things. Number one, I would really consider creating a social enterprise which has a cause component to it. I would really consider that. It's a whole new emerging area that I think would really work well for you. And number two, I think this is a great opportunity to really focus on social media because you can just really precisely target your audience.
Yes.
Really efficiently with this type of product line. Yeah. You're onto something.
Well, I really like your graphics of your name. I think you did it. I think you did a great job on that. I want to applaud you for kind of finding a unique niche in a pretty widely covered marketplace. Like you say, there's a lot of stuff out there, but you don't see a lot of folks, wearing it. So I think you've hit on something there. The other thing that I would want to know a little bit more about is how much surveying of customers you have for whether they, how likely folks are to buy it. So I think as you're going forward in your fundraising, that'll be a piece you'll need to cover for folks. Sure.
A lot of times we get started with a business and we get really busy working in the business, and then we don't get to work on the business. And I think our next guy has he's been working in his business pretty hard for the last 2-3 years and got covered up in it. But he got in the Pre-Accelerator class to learn how to work on it a little bit and see how to get it scaled up. And we think he's on to a really big idea. So the next team up is Matthew Young with Desk Agent.
Hi, I'm Matthew Young, CEO of Desk Agent, a business management system. Small companies have trouble managing multiple software systems. These systems are often complex and they don't share information well. Users are frustrated and inefficient. Take Tim here. Tim uses WordPress for his website, Dropbox for his files, Google for his email, PayPal for his payment systems, and Facebook for his social marketing. That's 5 different systems, 5 different logins, and 5 different websites he must visit every day. And this is just a fraction of the systems people are using. The solution, Desk Agent. The Desk Agent core takes commonly used business applications like blogging, email, and payment systems and integrates them seamlessly with existing applications like Facebook, Google, and PayPal. The system is fully integrated and seamlessly works with all these. We're working with a market of organizations that have less than 20 employees. They represent about 5 million employees and a $4 trillion part of the American economy. Most of these businesses are using content management systems or something similar to try to organize their businesses online. And these content management systems represent about $24 billion market that's moving to $60 billion by the end of the decade. We moved away from these content management systems a couple years ago because the problem is no matter how easy you make it for somebody to install or maintain, the user still has to learn the interface and they still have to manage it, which resulted in a ton of errors and a lot of compatibility issues. The other problem is these systems were originally designed just for posting blogs. And so as web applications have become more complicated and versatile, they're having trouble keeping up. The Desk Agent system was built to use these new web applications that would only run on a desktop computer years ago. And we're also using these third-party APIs and applications to dramatically decrease the cost of development. Our competitors have built these great web editing tools, but they're mainly built for websites. Desk Agent is an application ecosystem online that is there to grow and adapt to the changing market. For example, every month we've added new features and new applications without our users having to install anything. So from our customers' perspective, they get a versatile system that they don't have to worry about managing. In 2013, we launched version 1 with 2 clients. Jacob Fry joined us about midway through 2014, and our development accelerated. By the end of 2014, we had implemented the dynamic traffic routing system, which allows us to serve millions of websites on one system. By early 2015, we were doing about 2.5 million page views a month, and we launched version 2. And just last month, we launched the real estate mapping system, which allows realtors to produce a Zillow-style map on their website and automatically post new open houses to their Facebook. Our basic package is $99 a month, and we do all the setup, configuration, and design. If our users need shopping, real estate, data processing, or automated marketing, we have a $199 package. So far, our customer acquisition has been driven strictly through referrals, website backlinks, and customer support. We even have a backlog right now we're working through, so we started charging setup fees, which has now risen to about $4,000 per new client. Generally costs about $400 to get a new client acquired and set up. It can range up to $600 for the larger sites, and over a 4-year period, we generally get back $4,000 to $9,000. I'm Matthew Young, I'm the CEO, Jacob Fry is our CTO, and Bridget is our accounts manager. We have 3 principal advisors, Jordan Blackshaw, a corporate recruiter who's worked with eBay, Home Depot, and Lufthansa. Stephen Young, who has 30 years experience in real estate, is helping us with the real estate mapping system, and Steve Cohen, who has a master's degree in computer science and business administration, has worked with Axiom, WorldCom, and Unisys. Very soon we'll be hiring a JavaScript developer, a data specialist, and a PHP programmer. We're building a $100 million company. We have had 0 funding from the beginning, and the way we've done it is we've aggressively reinvested all of our profits back into the company. Over the next few years, through automation and outsourcing, we're going to drive down the cost of customer acquisition and devote more of our resources to marketing and to improving our existing product. Cost will end up plateauing as we go along, because the more customers we acquire, the less cost it costs to maintain per customer. The way Desk Agent works is the way it scales. Right now we have a system where we're going to drop our customer acquisition from $600 to $100, and we've been courting other markets with large user bases and robust economies. We hope to open a satellite office soon. We're also working on an automated template system similar to Wix, so users can build their own website and get instant access to our business applications. We're looking for a partner that can help eliminate our backlog and has the experience to help us as we develop into newer markets. If you're a programmer or a designer and you'd like to develop for us, call me. And if you know anybody who could use our services, please let them know about us. My name is Matthew Young, CEO of Desk Agent, a business management system.
Wow, that was a lot. Nice job. You guys have done a great job so far. It seems like you're heading in the right direction.
Yes, I think the need's definitely there. You'll have obviously some great technical talent in the background there that's figured out how to take something that's fairly complicated and make it look easy and neat and integrated for the customer. And that's the key for these kind of solutions to get out there. I think the big challenge is, although you've done great at picking up new customers from the word of mouth and the other ways that you're getting it, for your really big growth, it'll be interesting and interested in seeing how you go to get the bigger exposure and at the same time lower your customer acquisition costs. But great presentation.
Okay, you've made it so far. Last but not least, most entrepreneurs, or many entrepreneurs, are kind of going through life doing what they do, and they run into a problem, and they decide, and nobody else is fixing this for me. I've got to fix it myself. And so our next presenter did exactly that. He's an avid boater, and he has a hobby, and he kind of went, you know, nobody's fixing this problem, so I'm going to fix it. So we have next is Corey Bulkins with Wrapped Up.
Thank you. Second, technical difficulties. Last but not least, right?
Do you dance?
Right. No. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Last but not least, right? So it's cold outside. I'm already looking forward towards summer. My name is Corey Bulkins, CEO and founder of Wrapped Up. I have 6 years of experience in the marine industry, 12 years of experience in marketing technology and sales engineering. And I'm going to talk to you today about Wrapped Up. We're going to make boating simpler, safer, and more enjoyable. Boaters, specifically boat renters, are challenged because, boy, this thing is just going all over the place. They have multiple challenges, and those challenges are when they get on the water, they're sold a map per lake, and a map is a static depiction of an ever-changing environment. I don't know about you guys, but as a driver, when's the last time you bought a map? I haven't. Marinas and their customers have a challenge. Marinas, when they rent their boat to a customer and they go out to a lake they've never visited before, and when they get lost and the sun goes down, what happens? They are challenged to find and respond to their customer and get to them quickly. And wasted time and energy. I don't know about you, but on the weekends and on the vacations that I go on my boat, or if I rent a boat, we need to solve that. How do I get to that information? We're providing you access into a social community via a mobile application through the web so that you can engage with each other on the water and only look at those things that are related to boaters and their needs. Points of interest, their friends that are sailing. If you break down or if there's an accident, hit an SOS, and it will actually go out and engage in the community near you and notify your friends and family. Our market is 89 million people. 1/3 of every American last year participated in recreational boating. That is a number that you need to remember. Somebody went on the lake or on the coast, went fishing, and had a great time. Our target is 18 million people. That's 18 million individuals who rented a boat last year, right? And we're going to partner through marinas. Now, I'm not really focused on the money that we could make. It's the number of individuals that could participate in our community. Now, why now? Well, through intensive interviews, surveys online, and research, we've found that we've validated that this is a problem. We've looked at collaborative consumption business models, Uber, Cart Delivered. It's being adopted. Older boaters, older individuals are adopting mobile smartphone technology. They're using social devices. And recreational boating is growing 6% year over year and has for decades. Our nearest competitors are building digital maps and providing points of interest on their phones. That's great. I'm going to use another map on my phone. How do we differentiate? We're socializing curated points of interest. We have assistants and concierge. How can I get help? How can I engage with those people that can provide something to me when I'm on my houseboat or if I break down? And events and activities. How would you like to not be relegated to researching about what's going on in the water and have a news feed about that raft up or that point of interest or that 4th of July event? So our core components are safety, community, and convenience. SOS assistance, activate that SOS mode, notify that game of fish individual that may be nearby that could respond to you, or tell your friends that have been driving all over the lake, I'm right here, right? And friends and family in those events. Our go-to-market. We are a subscription service to our community, just like Spotify. So for this example, we're going to pre-sell 7-day access to marinas. And marinas will be our target because of those 18 million individuals that rent last year. Our goal for this next year is 25,000 of those individuals. We sell $10 for that 7-day access, which would equate to $250,000 in income. Now, traction. What have we done? Well, we won $5,000 at a startup weekend. We've self-funded, raised $65,000. We will be releasing our development MVP beta this month. And by the way, just an hour ago, I have the alpha in my hand and I'm testing it. I have 95 registered beta testers ready to go. I have 8 marinas in the last month that have said, yes, this is a great idea, I want to partner. And just last week, I've pre-sold 2 marinas, over 1,000 memberships for $7,000, and I don't even have a product yet. Our crew it represents over 40 years of experience in finance and accounting, solution development, data science for Fortune 500 companies. And our advisor is a seasoned executive for Fortune 500 companies as well. forecast. We can look at all these numbers. We can look at my year 1 and year 5 revenue projections, but I don't really care about that. I care about memberships, individuals that are going to continue to participate in our community, engage with each other, because that's what it's about. We are seeking up to $500,000 in seed funding for 20% of equity in our company. That's going to help us with 18 months of runway so we can focus on growth, marketing, technology enhancements, and sales. I've self-funded. I will self-fund until I get to revenue. So I'm ready for hypergrowth and growing my community. Raft Up is about a social, engaged community on the water where we're making boating simpler, safer, and more enjoyable for everyone. Come join Raft Up. My name's Corey Balkins. Thank you.
Corey, I think you did a great job of explaining what your opportunity is and where you want to go with it. And let's all go out and have some fun with it. I think when you're out there looking for investors, though, you're going to have to do a little bit more than say, I don't care about the numbers.
Yeah, well, right now it's a mixed bag.
I echo his comments and great presentation, lots of information.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're talking to numbers people here. As a boater myself, I really, really want to be a huge fan of this. I think that you're attacking lots of different use cases, and you're competing with just plain old making a phone call to somebody. You're competing with Facebook, you know, for the networking piece of it. So it's a challenge. The challenge will be to get, you know, a network of one is worthless, right? So the challenge is to get the local boating, like Mountain Harbor is where I go, Lake Ouachita. Like,
and we're partnering with them.
Right. So
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
people there need to be on Raft Up, or frankly, I'm not really going to use the app, right? So how do you get critical mass in every little local boating community to where enough people are using it that I'm going to download that app, I'm going to remember to download it, I'm going to remember to open it, I'm going to remember to say, hey, everybody, here's where I am, whatever it is, right? That's going to be the challenge, is creating, you know, stimulating those networks.
For sure.
Yeah,
Bring it
but
on.
I'm a fan already, so.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, give it up for the teams. Great job. Really nice job. I'm really proud of all of y'all. We had Lee on suicide watch a couple of weeks ago because we weren't sure these presentations were going to come together. We were keeping all the sharp stuff away from Lee because he was worried. But everybody came through and did a great job. I hope you saw some stuff tonight that you found really interesting. These are great examples of entrepreneurs in our community and the startups and the stuff that happened in the Pre-Accelerator class. So turn it back over to Lee.
Awesome. Thank you, Luke. That was fun, wasn't it? Yeah. Isn't that cool? So because we are doing this, because it's December and it's our first 18 months, I wanted to show you all quickly what 3 of our other entrepreneurs are up to. So this is Dr. John Leach, and he's going to give us a quick presentation. No feedback. Thank you, judges. We're going to do a quick presentation from John, and then we'll have an update from 2 other of our members, and then I'll have a couple of announcements, and then we can break into the beer and the wine.
All right, can you hear me okay? All right. So I'm Dr. John Leach, and I'm the founder and CEO of Adaptive Behaviors. At Adaptive Behaviors, we solve a behavioral health epidemic by integrating therapies with smart devices. The behavioral health epidemic is shown by the percent of children with behavior problems treated as ADHD in our country. In 2003, we were diagnosing ADHD in diagnosing it at a rate of 135%. And this ballooned in 2007 to 180% of its actual rate. And it's crossed over into 210% by 2011. That means over half of these diagnoses are incorrect, and over half the medicines you see here on this screen were being given to kids that don't even have the disorder. Unfortunately, this is what happens when desperate parents are seeking clinical level help for behavior problems in underserved areas of mental health and primary care, which, as you can tell, is most of the country. As you'd probably guess, unfortunately, Arkansas is at the bottom of the barrel on this. second only to, I believe, Kentucky, where over 2/3 of our ADHD diagnoses are likely incorrect. Your average 20-kid classroom, 4 of the kids have been told they have ADHD by a physician, 3 are still being told that they have ADHD, 2 are being treated for it, and only 1 actually has it. And that might not even be one of the 2 getting treatment. The price tag for this quality of care is $8,000 a year for every classroom, $200 a year per kid, plus side effects and health risk, for a total cost and waste of $12 billion a year. The solution to this is to remove the desperation and go from an underserved to a served community. And adaptive behaviors does this by putting the strongest behavioral reinforcers into the smart devices everyone already has to change the child's behaviors and improve the family dynamic. Take Tim, for example. Mom wants Tim to stop cussing, and she wants him to clean up his room, and Tim's not too thrilled about that. And Tim's got his own agenda, right? Adaptive behaviors facilitates the transition from this maladaptive butting of heads between parent and child to an adaptive pro-social family dynamic, where not only is mom getting what she wants and the fact that he cleaned up his room and he's not cussing anymore, but he's actually been able to achieve the reward he was seeking and is now actively seeking the praise of his mother by doing things she's not even having to ask him to do anymore. That is the power of adaptive behaviors. The market size is robust, with over 90 million family smartphone users in the United States, of which 13 million are seeking clinical level help for behavior problems already, and very likely to use our application, especially since we're going to give it to them free. Additional markets include 60 million other potential users in the United States and over 750 million worldwide and growing. Our business model is a hybrid of recurring revenues and fixed pricing, and we accomplish this through in-app advertising, where we build a stable revenue stream, and in-app purchases to drive front-loaded revenue and further bolster marketing. In version 2, we also have very valuable data sales that will be available. Our cost of acquisition is $5 with a lifetime user value of $30. And the trick to that is to retain our customers. We keep it free to use. We improve child behaviors. We improve family happiness. We make it med-free, clinic-free, hassle-free, ad-free if you want to pay for it. Fluid, customizable rewards, and maladaptive smart device controls that don't exist in any other app because they can't. They can't. Google won't let them. Apple won't let them. The difference is we get them invested in our product, so they have something to lose. Compared to the competition, we're not the only fish in the sea. Oh. We're not the only fish in the sea, but we will be a triton among the minnows. We are built to break down bad behaviors, partially by making it easy to do the right thing as a parent and hard to do the wrong. We are also built to spread like wildfire, and we're to do that by going into mental health clinics and pediatric offices, schools, and counselors, to find these patients and families where they already are. We put it into the professional societies and Medicaid, DHS, and foster care to tout the social benefits of getting all these kids off of these medicines that aren't going to help them and are only going to cause side effects and lots of cost. We get into social media where our kids will be recruiting other kids and our parents will recruit other parents simply by sharing the successes that they have through our program. The divorce lawyers and social workers see families that are on the brink and in most need of that help, and we're going to give it to them too, to hand it out, to help mend that modern family. We get it into research institutions, publications, and news outlets to get it through academia and pass it through the mainstream media. Our team is built with over 25 years of upper-level business management experience, including experts in behavior management, business law, management and planning, marketing and grant writing, and we also have child psychiatrist Dr. Peter Jensen, who is a world-renowned researcher. All of these people on board with our team. Our projection is that by year 5, adaptive behaviors will be serving 2.7 million users, or 1.5 million families, and break the $10 million mark in cumulative profit, based upon less than 2% market recruitment, a viral coefficient of 1.5, and a very large ease of translatability. I can't talk today. The added value of our data is that our data will be able to tell advertisers which ads get customers to intend to purchase. We can tell you exactly what % of 13-year-old boys with this app want Call of Duty 4. And beyond that, we can tell you how many of their parents are saying no and why. We can tell producers the demand and value of products before market and tell retailers the demand and value of the products in their area so they know what to bring in. And tell stockbrokers the next big winners before they win. Effectively, our big out is retailer acquisition or integration, whether that be through a large retailer like Walmart or Amazon, or a data company such as Acxiom. Our ask for this is first round funding on the order of $100,000 so that we can complete and launch version 1.0, which is already under development with our partners at Zico. Second round is going to be $400,000 for the initial marketing push. And again, this is so we can be helping 1.5 million families by year 5 and break 10 million in profit. I ask that you support adaptive behaviors because we want to pay you to help us mend the modern family. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, John. John is staff doctor at UAMS and has been working with Dr. Gray at BioVentures. Dr. Gray's in the back, so we're excited to be able to kind of work together to help move you forward. Very excited about not just the app, but the research and the brain power that's behind building this company. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, up next, this is Tina McCord with a quick update from Zuni Learning Tree.
I got this one. I don't need it. Thanks. You got it.
Tina went through our second pre-accelerator last spring.
Hi, Lisa. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad to be. I'm not one of them pitching. I remember a year ago when I was the one pitching, and it was pretty scary to be up here. So I did an amazing job. So a lot has happened in the last year since being here, and Lee guided us on how to pitch. I've won 2 pitch events. So Zuni has won Innovate Her, and is going on to the next tier in that through, and it was pretty sad. Innovation Hub, and then we also went on and won Arkansas Delta Regional Authority competition, and we will be going to New Orleans this March to pitch there, to look for capital, which is really great. But one of the biggest things that we've gained from here is the mentors, and not just the mentors that we picked, but the mentors that Lee and his team put together for us to go and contact. And by doing that, I've been able to have Mark Hill has been able to help me put together so I can raise money. So we're out raising $650,000 right now, and we have our first offer on the table. So it's really exciting and moving forward. So, and we also had zero. We had just our beta, our main school district, and we now have 14 new school districts and 3 more onboarding in the next month. So it's pretty exciting, and it's really, I couldn't say enough about what we've done here and from the Venture Center. We couldn't have done it without them. So it's great.
Thanks, Tina. Keep up the good work. And then I asked Justin George to come in and update us on Aptigee, and he called me about an hour and a half ago and said, hey, I really wish I could be there, but I have an opportunity to go sell to a school board, so I'm going to go do that. And I said, that's what you need to be doing. Here's David Allen to give us a quick update.
Hey everyone, I'll keep this really short. So at Aptigee, we've been doing a lot of growing. We came in here about 6 months ago with 1 employee into the Venture Center, and since then we now have 10 employees. We're over in the Simmons building. We're in 41 school districts, and that's in Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, and what's the other one, Ben? Oh yeah, so we're in lots of different states, growing a lot, and we've raised $350,000 in our funding so far. We're looking for 50,000 more right now, and we're also hiring in the sales, marketing, development, and design field. So if there's anyone interested in working at a really high growth education company, we'd love to talk to you afterwards. And yeah, we've been doing well. So thanks for having us back.
Thanks, David. All right. I am very excited about the entrepreneurs today. Let's give all of the entrepreneurs a really big round of applause. So no presentation should be left without an ask. So I have 2 asks for all of you. The first is consider being a mentor. Applications for mentorship, for mentor training is on our website. You can find it on there. The next training session is January 19th from 8 in the morning until noon. We'd love to have you. The second is we just posted the applications for the next Pre-Accelerator. So our 4th installment of this program will start at the end of January. Applications start today. Applications will be open for about 3 or 4 weeks. We'll do interviews and then start, I think it's the 4th week of January. Here's what's going to happen next. So the entrepreneurs in the Pre-Accelerator are going to now go up to the step and repeat, and we're going to get a group photo. Now, there we go. And while we're doing a photo, stick around, help yourself to the Lost 40 beer. Jessica made a great Christmas cocktail drink and some great food. We'll be done with the photos in a couple minutes, and I encourage you to network, meet the entrepreneurs, hear the story. Trust me, they have a lot more to share than what they had time for in the 5 minutes. Judges, thank you. Thank everybody for coming. Merry Christmas.